Compliance. That is a trigger word for some people. So don't take offense to this by any means, because I just want to share with you a personal story about me, my business, but also at the same time, how you can apply today's principles into your own health and fitness journey that I think is just going to help you out tremendously. So, compliance, right? What does that mean? That's following through with directions. That means you're being obedient at the same time. Now, the reason why I think people think that's a trigger word or could have them kind of feeling maybe frustrated or discouraged if they hear like they're not being compliant is because they might think that they're doing all the right things. And I think that's the dividing factor in all this. If you think you're truly doing all the right things, but somebody else's perspective might be saying that you're not following through with directions, you're not being compliant, that's where it's like you get the torn apart where, hey, I feel like I'm doing this, but from somebody else's perspective, I'm not. So there's maybe a miscommunication or a mindset perspective that you need to kind of take in a form here when it comes to self-evaluation. So to help you out in terms of like what's going to make sense for you on your health and fitness journey, just to help you out with more energy, more fat loss, more muscle, better, faster metabolism, more confidence, the whole 9 yards. We're going to get to that in a second. Let me kind of share with you in terms of myself. So myself being a business owner, I've invested into coaches and mentors for many, many years now. Honestly, like I'm very, very, very grateful for my very first business coach because during that time, I thought I was doing all the right things. I'm like, hey, I look good with my shirt off, right? Let me make a website. Let me just, tell everybody on social media all about, hey, go to my website, go sign up for coaching for me for online, meal plans, workouts, the whole 9 yards. And you think like instantly like, oh, hey, life's great, right? People are going to sign up for this. Like it's the end all be all. No. It doesn't work that way. I literally spent so much money in trial and error of doing everything on my own. I pretty much went broke. And I took my last little bit of savings and I actually invested into a business coach after literally years of trying to do this all by myself. And I'm very grateful of the fact that like I was in a point where it was back up against the wall. Like I needed to make a change. I was like, hey, I either got to throw in the towel and quit because this is not working out, right? There's not going to be any money to support my family. Or, hey, I need to take a big risk. And I took that risk and I decided to invest into a coach. And he actually taught me about marketing. He taught me about actually attracting the right type of people that I want to serve and that I want to coach and help out. Tremendously grateful because him teaching me all that, that's what led to me eventually quitting my 9-to-5 job, honestly, where I can do my business full time on my own and support my family. So grateful, And then I obviously invested into other coaches, right? Different agencies, coaches, mentors to just help me when it comes to acquiring knowledge. Because the way that I look at life is kind of like a video game. And it's just like, new levels equal new devils. And so it's like these bosses, right? It's like, all right, let's just invest into acquiring the cheat codes, right? Of like learning what to do to get over this devil, get over this boss, And it's just like, I'm a big believer in that, right? Acquiring the right knowledge, using that, right? Obviously applied knowledge is what's going to be the end all be all for faster success for anybody instead of the trial and error, throwing spaghetti up on the wall, hoping and praying something sticks because I've made that mistake before. I don't want to do it again. So fast forward to current state, I have a brand new business coach, that I've been working with for, past several months, just trying to, optimizing things. And anytime you're hiring a business coach, right, you're learning different SOPs, right? Standard operating procedures, automations, everything like that. Everybody has a different approach to things, So we got into a conversation. I'm very, very grateful. And this is where I think it's going to help you guys out in terms of your health and fitness journey with just shining a better light of a different perspective for you in terms of like this keyword compliance. So that, once again, it's a trigger word for some people. It's not a sexy word by any means, but how you perceive it, I think is going to help you out tremendously. So me and this business coach, I kind of told him, I was like, hey, listen, I've been doing this for quite some time, and think about this for your own health and fitness journey because I think this is going to help out once again. So I've been doing these, SOPs. I've been doing this for quite some time. I'm not seeing the ROI. So that might be somebody that's on their health and fitness journey and they're sticking with this, right? They're doing, right? Maybe it's like they're tracking their macros and hitting their protein goal and doing their workouts, right? But they're not seeing the weight fall off. So I'm doing this and I'm not seeing the ROI. So I ask for help. And I think anybody would. It's like, hey, help me out here, dude. Like, I hired you. What's going on, right? What I'm not seeing here? And he got to analyze all my data and all my stats. And he was like, well, I see over here that you're doing things not how we recommend. You're doing things like before in the past, like from your old coaches and your old, ways that you were doing things. You should probably be doing things how we're doing things, because I can monitor and check your KPIs. So if, let's just say, running, ads and everything like that, you can see your numbers, right? In terms of like, what's going on, cost per click, right? How much everything's costing, and see if there's a bottleneck there. But what he told me was amazing. I'm really glad he did. He said, hey, I would recommend that you just be compliant on this aspect as well, because if you're being 100% compliant over here in terms of like, how we're doing things, and not trying to put your own twist and spin on things, then that means that if there's an issue over here, we can easily fix that. But now if you're doing things over here, now we don't know what's going on. There might not be an issue over here. There might be an issue over here. And maybe that's why you're not seeing the ROI. And so what he said was just, think about why you got signed up for this. Think about obviously like what it is that you're trying to fix and take ownership on. It's like, give us full control. All we ask is that you just are 100% compliant. You can be 70%, but don't expect to see 100% results. You can be 90%, but once again, don't expect to see 100% of the results. So now you're listening to that and you're like, what does this have to do with me and my own health and fitness journey? Well, think about it like this, right? If, let's just say, you have a coach that's helping you, right? Maybe they're giving you workouts, they're giving you meal plans, they're helping you through this whole entire process. I think the biggest thing for all of us is, and it's the hardest thing, honestly, too, right? In order to become 100% compliant, we first need to kind of wipe ourselves clear of what happened in the past. So, like for me, for example, it's like, hey, I was taught this way. It worked before in the past. Now to come into this business model and start using this, I almost have to be fresh, open-minded. And this is why I always tell this. I love honestly recording this right now, because it's the same advice that we share with our members that I need to just take for myself in terms of the business side. Because you want to come in open-minded. You want to come in as just a sponge, like fresh, like, honestly, take in everything, because you're going to get the best results that way. Rather than, let's say if you're on your health and fitness journey, oh, well, this coach is telling me, I should be having, 150, 200 grams of carbs, but I've always done keto and low carb and, whatever in the past, where I was following these diets where I was eating very, very low carbohydrates. Now this guy's telling me this. So now it's like, okay, well, maybe I can take what I've been learning before in the past, right? And maybe just do, hitting their protein and maybe just focusing on, I don't know, maybe just doing their workouts and their check-ins and all that stuff. But once again, like, if you're not going to be 100% compliant, don't expect 100% of the results. Because maybe this person over here, they're educating you about the importance of carbohydrates and how that actually helps with, muscle glycogen and metabolism and testosterone levels. Another thing is, let's just say, uploading your stats. And so I recommend this for anybody, that's on their health and fitness journey. With me, right, let's just say running advertisements, right? Facebook ads, YouTube ads, Google ads, whole 9 yards. You want to make sure you track your data, right? This is called your KPIs. So it's like, I want to be able to see everything, all my data, all my analytics. So that way, if there is a missing link and a bottleneck, right, I can kind of identify what that is. Well, hey, if let's say somebody's not tracking all of their body stats, and there's 3 things that you should be tracking. The first one is your weight. The second is your body fat percentage. And the third, which is most important, that people typically forget about the most, is their progress photos. Because maybe, I don't know, you're dealing with some insecurities. You don't really like the way that you look, right? You feel maybe, kind of ashamed, and it's just like, hey, taking a photo of yourself doesn't really feel the best. And I completely get that. I completely understand that. But with that being said, understanding that, hey, on anybody's weight loss journey, weight loss is not linear. There's going to be times you go up, times you go down, etc. Having all that data, right, for your body stats is just like having all the data for your KPIs. Because if, let's just say, somebody is putting on, here, we'll use it in a three-way approach here. Let's say somebody's just doing their weight. That's it. They're not even doing their body fat. They're not doing any progress photos. And let's say they're doing all the right things over here, right, in terms of like nutrition and training, everything, right? Let's say that person, that individual is not losing weight, but that's all they're doing is checking their weight. That's it. Once again, no progress photos, no body stats, no measurements, nothing like that. Well, hey, I'm sure you heard this before, right? Muscle weighs more than fat. So if you're not checking your body fat percentage and seeing that the numbers are going down, but maybe the weight's still staying the same, you're going to get very discouraged, especially if you're emotionally tied to the number on the scale. Because you're going off just one data point. That's it. That's it. Like literally, that's it. Just one data point. So it's like, how do we defer that? How do we get better results? Well, hey, let's add some more data points in there. Body fat percentage. Because now it's like, all right, maybe the weight's not going down, but your body fat percentage is dropping. So what does that mean? Hey, you're literally in the process of, like a recomp of burning body fat and building muscle at the same time, speeding back up your metabolic rate, right? What you want to focus on, what you need help with, to get your, metabolism, testosterone levels up to a healthier range. But hear me out. At some point in the journey, there's also going to be a plateau, right? Or a stall when it comes to the weight and the body fat. So what do you do then? Well, this is why progress photos is the most important measurement, in my opinion, right? For the data points. Because what matters the most is how you look and how you feel. That's it. And when we see ourselves every single day in the mirror with our shirts off, right, we're typically only looking for the areas that we want to see the most change in. So it's like for guys, we're staring at maybe like our chest and our midsection, our abs, and it's like, that's it. But understanding that, 99.9% of people, they're going to lose more body fat, right, in their face, their arms, their upper back, a little bit of their upper chest, their legs, first, before their midsection. This is always the last little bit to leave. Making sure that you're doing your progress photos, right? And like having that stuff where somebody's holding you accountable, they can better educate you then. Because if, let's say, you are doing those week over week, well, guess what? Somebody can say, hey, listen, you might feel, right, like you're hit a stall, hit a plateau because your weight's not going down, your body fat percentage isn't going down, but look at your progress photos. And remember, you have a hard time probably seeing, right, how you're actually transitioning and, transforming because you see yourself daily. And it's very hard to see daily little, changes. But, hey, spread that out week over week. It makes it very easy to see, oh, yeah, my face is thinning out a little bit more. Hey, I'm starting to get a little bit more leaner, more, defined arms and shoulders and everything like this. Having somebody see those rather than you just seeing your midsection and your chest, it helps out tremendously well. So why am I telling you this? Well, at the end of the day, I had to literally put the ego and the pride aside and just say, you know what? I'm wrong. You're right. Like, I should probably not be doing things that's different from what works for all these other guys, right? Like, I should probably be doing things exactly the same. And it kind of goes to show you that on your own health and fitness journey, it works pretty much identical, which means, like, how do you actually get the best results? Well, one, try your best, keyword, try your best to be as compliant as possible. Don't take what you learned before in the past that probably didn't really work for you and didn't really serve you into today, where, hey, it's just going to lead you down a roller coaster of emotions of like, oh man, like I thought this is the way that I do it. And I get it. It's complicating because there's so much misinformation out there. There's 1,000,003 different diets to choose from. Everybody's telling you one thing. Some guys that look amazing are saying don't eat carbs. Some guys that look amazing are saying, hey, make sure you're eating carbs. You don't know who to believe, who to trust. I get it. It's complicated, right? But I feel like any journey that you're on, whether, hey, you're trying to enhance your career, enhance your business like myself, or hey, trying to enhance your physical health, right? And mental health, whatever the case may be, right? Your health and fitness journey. It's like if you have somebody that's helping you, just listen. That's it. Just listen. Try your best to be compliant as much as possible. Be open-minded. And at the same time, like the big kicker in all this, don't be afraid to ask for help. That's something that like I'm still working on, right? Where it's like, hey, I need help. Hey, I need help. Hey, I need help. And I, once again, need to learn how to take my own advice, because I always tell our members, hey, tell us the good, the bad, the ugly, especially the ugly, because nobody here is a mind reader. So it's like, let us know when you're dealing with any kind of problems, frustrations, anything like that, so we can work within our own means to kind of help fix the issue. Well, hey, typically the ones that ask us questions, they get the answers like that, where it's like they don't have to continue to struggle anymore because they're trying to do things on their own. It's like, instead, hey, admit that you need some help, and you're going to get the help. And then it's all about just showing up, following through, being compliant with that advice that was, presented to you, and, seeing then what changes to make next. So I think it just goes to show you that, whether, once again, you're on your business journey, your health and fitness journey, like, I think following through with directions, and learning how to be compliant is huge. But at the same time, don't be afraid to admit to ask for help. Think about how I started off today's episode. Way back in the day, I mentioned that I was pretty much like broken on my last, end all be all. Like I needed to either quit or, hey, take this money and take a huge risk and invest into this coach. I'm very, very grateful I did, because obviously that's what led me to where I am today. So it's just like sometimes having the right people in your corner is going to be the biggest thing that's going to help you. But at the same time, even when you have the right people in your corner, still ask for help when needed. Don't just try to be, Mr. Know-it-all, or think you got everything under the bag and all that stuff. Try your best to follow through with directions, and that's probably going to be the fastest way for having success. Plain and simple. So hopefully you guys learned a little thing or two today. I wanted to make today's podcast a little bit different in terms of just sharing with you, things that I'm going through in my life that maybe can potentially help you as well on your own health and fitness journey. And if you did get any value, hey, I really appreciate giving this video a thumbs up, leaving a comment down below. And as always, guys, this has been Coach Joe with Heartletics.com. I'll talk to you in the next episode. Peace out, Girl Scouts.